So it's been 2 years of Sudan's conflict, and now it's entering its third year, and things have changed from what they were when it started. We've seen the Sudanese army, especially in the past 5 months, regain control of more and more territories here in the capital from the RSF. And what that meant was that people were starting to come back. I'm Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera's correspondent in Sudan. And between us, displaced people are starting to return to their homes, but they're returning to uncertainty. For many people, leaving was not easy. So many people had to find illegal, informal routes to be able to leave the cities that the RSF took over from and to try to find their way to other states.
I made it with only my daughters and their uncle. We fled our village, and when we reached the main road, I turned back and couldn't see my husband, son, and mother-in-law.
Some countries made it very hard for people to enter, especially Egypt. Sometimes it could take up to 3 months for people to get visas to go to Egypt. Many people calculated the costs and realized that it's much easier for them to get on a pickup, pay a smuggler, and cross the desert into Egypt. It's not safe. People have lost their lives on these journeys. But it also goes to show the extent of their desperation. I left my own home on the 15th of April when I was going to work, and the conflicts found me on my way to work, just a few minutes away from the office, actually. And I went back once during a ceasefire period to gather some important documents for the rest of my family to be able to leave the country. Now, I went back about a month ago, and the house that I saw was completely different from the house that I left. Our rooms have been broken into. The house has been completely ransacked. It's not the house that I grew up in. It's not the house that I lived in. It's been devastating. It's not what I expected to see. It has been heartbreaking because I was hoping to come back to something, like many Sudanese who fled this conflict or were displaced from their homes. I had this hope that I would be able to find something going back, some family album, something that reminded me of the home that we left as the family home. And I didn't find that. It's like taking a piece of your past, a piece of your life has been taken away completely, and we don't know how to get it back, to be honest. When this conflict started, we have seen how people have responded. One thing that we were already sure of was how resilient Sudanese were. But one thing we've also seen is how people have taken advantage of the situation, and it has been heartbreaking. People increasing rents for those who can't afford because they've been displaced and lost everything. People who've been hiking up market prices because they know that the need is high and therefore they can make profits. And the other shift that I've seen is how people have changed themselves. It shows in their facial features, it shows in the way they walk, that they've become exhausted, that this conflict has completely drained them, at least here in the capital. People have lost so much, I've talked about their homes, and I know we've talked about displacement over and over again, but there's an emotional toll to it. They don't know how they're going to resume their lives.